In this lesson, we will take a look at some of the creative things you can do with CSS backgrounds and borders, from adding gradients, background images, and rounded corners. Backgrounds and borders are the answer to a lot of styling questions in CSS. The background color property defines the background color of any element in CSS. The property accepts any valid color. A background color extends underneath the content and padding box of the element. In the example below, we have used various color values to add a background color to the box, a heading, and a span element. Play around with these using any available color value. So this is the container for our heading and our paragraph, and we gave the div a class of box. Using CSS, we added a background color of this hexadecimal notation to the box, and we gave the H2 heading a background color of black, and we set the color of the text to white. For the span, we gave the span a background color using RGBA values, and when you run this in your browser, this is what you should see. The background image property enables the display of an image in the background of an element. In the example below, we have two boxes. One has a background image which is larger than the box. The other has a small image of a single star. This example demonstrates two things about background images. By default, the large image is not scaled down to fit the box, so we see a small corner of it, whereas the small image is styled to fill the box. If you specify a background color in addition to a background image, then the image displays on top of the color. Try adding a background color property to example 2 to see that in action. The background repeat property is used to control the tiling behavior of images. The available values are no repeat, repeat X, repeat Y, and repeat. The background repeat property is used to control the tiling behavior of images. The available values are no repeat to stop the background from repeating altogether, repeat X to repeat horizontally, repeat Y to repeat in a vertical direction, and repeat, which is the default, to repeat in both the horizontal and vertical directions. In the second example that we just showed you, the balloons image is a large image that was cropped due to being larger than the elements it is a background of. In this case, we could use the background size property, which can take length or percentage values to size the image to fit inside the background. You can also use keywords like cover, contain. If you use cover, the browser will make the image just large enough so it completely covers the box area while still retaining its aspect ratio. In this case, part of the image is likely to end up outside the box, but if you use the contain keyword, the browser will make the image the right size to fit inside the box. In this case, you may end up with gaps on either side or on the top and bottom of the image if the aspect ratio of the image is different from that of the box. Gradients backgrounds. Gradients, when used for a background, acts just like an image and is also set by using the background image property. You can read more about the different types of gradients and things you can do with them on W3 School's website. A fun way to play with gradients is to use one of the many CSS gradients generators available on the web, such as cssgradients.io. You can create a gradient, then copy and paste out the source code that it generates. Rounded corners. Rounding corners on a box is achieved by using the border radius property and associated longarms which relate to each other on the box. Two lengths or percentages may be used as a value. The first value defining the horizontal radius and the second the vertical radius. In a lot of cases, you will only pass in one value which will be used for both.